3 years ago, I discovered a person called Ryan Holiday, and ever since then, I kind of got into his philosophy. The philosophy that he preaches is Stoicism. I went to his website, checked it out, looked at his collection, and then found some interesting coins. I was just like, well, what is this? What's happening down here? Looked at the coin, what it represented, ordered it, and I got it in the mail 2 to 3 weeks later. The more I held this coin with me, the more I realized the meaning of Memento Mori. Did some more research, got into it more, read a few books, found different philosophers that also preached similar aspects in their philosophy. But the more I actually carried this coin everywhere, the more I started diving deeper into these kind of philosophies, which is why today I want to talk about how this coin has changed my life. Anyway, since I picked up Marcus Aurelius's meditations a few years ago, it has completely changed my life. And then it led me to Seneca's Letters from a Stoic, which is also an amazing piece of work because I love Seneca. He's one of my favorite philosophers up there as well. Then I read Discourses from Epictetus, and this is what I guess solidified my whole journey into philosophy. It was this like little trilogy of having these 3 books that really, I guess, made me realize how much I really love Stoicism. Stoicism goes further by dividing itself into 4 different virtues that humans should follow in their lives: wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. All Stoicism's philosophy revolve and encompass around these different virtues, embedded in many works, embedded in many quotes, embedded in many actions that have been lived and preached by ancient philosophers. The aspect of Memento Mori has also opened my eyes to so many different things. At the back, it's a little shortened line from Meditations which says, you can leave life right now. And in the actual text, it says, let that determine what you say and think. And I agree with that because sometimes we're just thinking about so many things that just aren't necessary. And it's impossible to not think about thoughts and not to have anxious thoughts and not to have negative thoughts. So many of those thoughts are just useless. And when I actually think about death, that is when I can extract the most gratitude and gratefulness and realize that I'm only here for a limited amount of time. I was telling one of my friends the other day, the older I'm getting, the more I'm realizing about people dying around me. Celebrities, extended families that live in India, cousins, friends that even live in Melbourne. And it's weird because, you don't, as a kid, you don't really get experience to that. People that I've known in my personal lives, my dog recently passed away also. And it is just happening over and over and again in a quicker rate. So I guess carrying this coin everywhere with me really makes me realize how important it is to actually live the life that you can as much as you can. That's why I feel like everywhere I take this coin and hold it and grab it and just like really hold on to it, it just gives me that reminder just to think that way, just how Marcus Aurelius used to think. On the back, there's also the timeless wisdom of 3 different symbols, as you can see, and it's by an artist called Philippe de Champagne. I hope I haven't butchered that name. It's a 17th century painting that Ryan Holiday has embedded in the back of the coin. It's got 3 symbols on the left. It has an hourglass, which represents time. In the middle, it's a huge skeleton, which represents death. And on the right, it's a flower or a kind of a plant growing, which means, obviously, life growing. All these 3 symbols united, I guess, correlate with what Marcus Aurelius was also saying in the back of the coin, where you could leave life right now, let that determine what you say and think. If life feels so quick, I'm not really that far away from death. And it is a fascinating thing to think about. It's quite scary and terrifying at the same time. But carrying this coin everywhere reminds me of my, I guess, mortality. Furthermore, these are 3 quotes that I guess I preach due to me reading Marcus Aurelius's meditations and also keeping this coin with me at all times. Quote number 1, you have power over your own mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. The fact is that we humans have this fixation to try to control things that are outside our events, and the only things that we can control is our own actions. Not even the people that are really close to us, we can control their actions. Be a partner, it might be a best friend, it might be anything, it might be a co-worker, it might be the place that we work at. And look, there are times when you can control certain things and in certain environments, depending if you're in a leadership role, an authoritarian or authoritative role, I hope, you won't be able that 100% power unless you're just completely manipulating people, which I obviously recommend not doing. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. How crazy is that, right? We have this tendency to care more about what other people's opinions are. And I get it, I understand it, I've done it in the past, I still do that sometimes. Words are powerful. Other people's words can hurt you, they can lift you up, they can bring you down. As long as we are aware of that, I'm not saying none of these quotes that I'm discussing will completely remove and eradicate all different problems and adversities in your life, but if you can have that awareness and if you can practice that awareness, it can make life 10% better, 20% better, 50% better. I really stick by that quote. I put myself over a lot of things because it's me. I'm thinking about myself, just like I'm sure you would in certain situations as well. And it's not a bad thing to do that. A lot of people probably won't even admit that as well. It's just human nature. However, we really fixate on other people's opinions, which I feel like can be quite toxic. Marcus Aurelius reminds us of this. Execute every act of thy life, though it were thy last. And, you know, tomorrow is unpredictable. We don't know if tomorrow is going to come. Anything can happen at any time. People pass away at a very young age without just unknown reasons. You should aim to do everything to the best of your ability, because it could be the last time you'd be doing it. It could be the last time you could be seeing someone, and you just never know if you'll ever see them again, even though you think that you're going to see them again. After carrying this coin as well, having that perspective of death, I try to live every day as it was going to be my last. And it hasn't been easy, and it's quite a cliche thing to say, and I've probably said it in the past as well. Waking up in the morning is just an act of gratitude because you get to live another day. And going to sleep in your bed is another act of gratitude because you get to go home safe in your bed. While there's so many atrocities occurring in the world, and life is dangerous, the world is a scary place. There are so many different things that have happened to people. Just read up history and you will find out. Out of all these quotes, and many like them, I didn't want to pollute this video with too many quotes and wanted to keep it nice and simple. All I'm trying to say is that after discovering Stoicism, then I discovered this coin. After discovering this coin, then I discovered certain books. After discovering certain books, I embedded these quotes. And I guess holding this coin with me, taking it with everywhere I go, just putting it in my wallet, putting it in my pocket, or sometimes just holding it by night while I'm reading or fiddling around with it. Oh, I almost dropped it. It reminds me of all the, I guess, benefits I have extracted from these kind of knowledges and from these books and from this wisdom. So this coin has changed my life, and I feel like it will yours as well. I'm not encouraging you to go get this coin. I'm not an advocate for Ryan Holiday. I wish I was, but I'm not. You don't need this coin in order to practice philosophy, Stoicism, Epicureanism, any kind of philosophy. However, for me, it works, and I guess I just wanted to share this video. Thank you so much. If you've stayed so far at the end of the video, I really appreciate you watching my video. Thank you so much.